Mitanni, also called Hanagalbat in Assyrian or Naharin in Egyptian texts, was a Hurran-speaking state in northern Syria and southeast Anatolia from California, 1500 BC to 1300 BC, founded by an Indo-Aryan ruling class governing a predominantly Hurran population. Mitanni came to be a regional power after the Hittite destruction of Amorite Babylon, and a series of ineffectual Assyrian kings created a power vacuum in Mesopotamia. At the beginning of its history, Mitanni's major rival was Egypt under the Thutmosids. However, with the ascent of the Hittite Empire, Mitanni and Egypt made an alliance to protect their mutual interests from the threat of Hittite domination. At the height of its power, during the 14th century BC, Mitanni had outposts centered on its capital, Washukani, whose location has been determined by archaeologists to be on the headwaters of the Khabur River. Eventually, Mitanni succumbed to Hittite and later Assyrian attacks, and was reduced to the status of a province of the Middle Assyrian Empire. Their sphere of influence is shown in Hurran place names, personal names, and the spread through Syria and the Levant of a distinct pottery type. Geography. The Mitanni controlled trade routes down the Khabur to Mari and up to the Euphrates, from there to Carchemish. For a time they also controlled the Assyrian territories of the Upper Tigris and its headwaters at Nineveh, Arbel, Ashur and Nuzi. Their allies included Kizzuwatna in southeastern Anatolia, Mukish, which stretched between Ugrit and Qatna west of the Orontes to the sea, and Ania, which controlled the east bank of the Orontes from Alala down through Aleppo, Ebla and Hama to Katna and Kadesh. To the east, they had good relations with the Kazites. The land of Mitanni in northern Syria extended from the Taurus Mountains to its west and as far east as Nuzi and the river Tigris in the east. In the south, it extended from Aleppo across to Mari on the Euphrates in the east. Its center was in the Khabur River Valley, with two capitals, Titan Washukani, called Tidu and Ushukana respectively in Assyrian sources. The whole area allows agriculture without artificial irrigation. Cattle, sheep and goats were raised. It is very similar to Assyria in climate, and was settled by both indigenous Hurran and Amoritic-speaking populations. Name. The Mitanni kingdom was referred to as the Marianu, Naran or Mitanni by the Egyptians, the Hurra by the Hittites, and the Hanagalbat by the Assyrians. The different names seem to have referred to the same kingdom and were used interchangeably, according to Michael C. Astor. Hittite annals mention a people called Hurra, located in northeastern Syria. A Hittite fragment, probably from the time of Mersi-Lehi, mentions a king of the Hurra. The Assyro-Akkadian version of the text renders Hurra as Hanagalbat. Tushrata, who styles himself King of Mitanni in his Akkadian Amarna letters, refers to his kingdom as Hanagalbat. Egyptian sources call Mitanni Nhrn, which is usually pronounced as Naharin, Naharina, from the Assyro-Akkadian word for river, cf. Aram Naharaim. The name Mitanni is first found in the memoirs of the Syrian Wars of the official astronomer and clockmaker Amenemhet, who returned from the foreign country called Mitanni at the time of Thutmose I. The expedition to the Naharina announced by Thutmose I at the beginning of his reign may have actually taken place during the long previous reign of Amenhotep I. Help believes that this was the expedition mentioned by Amenhotep II. People. The ethnicity of the people of Mitanni is difficult to ascertain. A treatise on the training of chariot horses by Kikuli contains a number of Indo-Aryan glosses. Kamenhuber suggested that this vocabulary was derived from the still undivided Indo-Iranian language, but Meyerhofer has shown that specifically Indo-Aryan features are present. The names of the Mitanni aristocracy frequently are of Indo-Aryan origin, but it is specifically their deities which show Indo-Aryan roots, though some think that they are more immediately related to the Kassites. The common people's language, the Hurran language, is neither Indo-European nor Semitic. Hurrian is related to Urartian, the language of Urartu, both belonging to the Hurro-Urartian language family. It had been held that nothing more can be deduced from current evidence. A Hurrian passage in the Amarna letters, usually composed in Akkadian, the lingua franca of the day, indicates that the royal family of Mitanni was by then speaking Hurrian as well. Bearers of names in the Hurrian language are attested in wide areas of Syria and the northern Levant that are clearly outside the area of the political entity known to Assyria as Hanal Galbat. There is no indication that these persons owed allegiance to the political entity of Mitanni, although the German term Auslandshurriter has been used by some authors. In the 14th century BC, numerous city-states in northern Syria and Canaan were ruled by persons with Hurrian and some Indo-Aryan names. If this can be taken to mean that the population of these states was Hurrian as well, then it is possible that these entities were a part of a larger polity with a shared Hurrian identity. This is often assumed, but without a critical examination of the sources. Differences in dialect and regionally different pantheons point to the existence of several groups of Hurrian speakers.